So yes, welcome back. So whenever I have launched this application, what I'm getting, let me show that again. See, this is what I'm getting. Fine, it gives hello world only, but as I said, in the main activity now I have created the object. So it will call the constructor. Let me admit the people. It will call the constructor which is here, and it will call the super constructor. It will create the database, then it will go to the on create and it will create the table. So now the question is where the table and database will be. So for that, what you can do, you can go to the device file explorer. The way we were finding shared preferences, similarly in the data folder, you can explore data again. Then you can go with com.example. Our application name, which is SQLite database demo. Where is it here? com.example.sqlite database demo. You can explore it. You can find the folder which is databases. Just explore it and you can see here. Database name is sample.db. Now from this we will come to know that database is created. That is for sure. So now what you can do to check whether the table is created or not, you can download one tool and you can import this database in that tool to check whether the table is created or not. So today only even we will do that, and without that tool also we will come to know whether the database and table is created or not. So if the data is inserted, we will fetch it so that we will come to know that data is correctly inserted. That also we are going to do, don't worry. So let me save this database which is sample, and let me save this on desktop, sample.db. Okay. So now that tool which I'm talking about is SQLite browser. I've already downloaded it. Let me open that DB browser for SQLite. So you can simply download it. It is having around 40 MB of size, 33 or 40, I don't know. You can download this tool and then you can import your database to see whether table and values are there or not. So let's see. Let me open the database. It is on the desktop. The name is sample.db, and you can see the tables. There are three tables. So these are the default tables, but the table which we have created is having name which is scorecard. And if you browse the data, then you can see all the columns: ID, first name, last name, and marks. So now I can say table is also created. The only thing is I need to insert the values. So that is also we are going to do. Is it fine? So this is how you can see whether a database and table is created or not. See, for this program or this application only I am using this tool. Otherwise by today only, from our application only we will see whether data is inserted or not. We don't need any extra tool. But as this is the basic level and this is what I'm explaining for the first time, that is why I have downloaded it. Otherwise this is not needed at all. For the first time it is needed, but now in the same application what we are going to do, we will insert the values, we will fetch the data, we will delete, we will update the values. So as soon as we enter the values, we will fetch all the data, and if it gives all the data, it means the data is inserted. So we don't need this browser. Are you getting me? So far I can say database is created, table is also created. Now we want to insert the values in table. હવે આપણે આ ટેબલની ચારે કોલમમાં વેલ્યુ ઇન્સર્ટ કરશું. But before this, if you have any doubt, let me know. Yes or no? Clear. Okay, fine. So now what we will do, let me open the main XML file. Let's do something dynamic. Let me go to the code part. Let's change the layout from constraint to linear. So let's say I want to get all the values from user. I'm asking about first name, surname, marks, everything. So let me go with orientation and padding. Let's say vertical padding is 30 dp, and let me go with 3 edit text. Let's say it is rep content. ID is also rep content. ID for this edit text is edt first name, and I want enter your first name, and text size. Let's say 20. Let me increase the size, and let's say width is match parent. I want entire screen. So you can see here, enter your first name. So similarly, I want two more edit text. So let me copy this, and this is edt last name. Enter your last name instead of first name. Then this is for marks. Let's say edt marks, and enter your marks. Fine. So I'm having 3 edit text. Now I want few buttons also to add the values, to delete. So let's say I'm creating one button, match, not match parent, but wrap content. Again, wrap content. ID for this button is, let's say, btn add. Text is add data. Text size is, let's say, 30 dp. So I've created one button for adding the things. So this is how it looks like. Fine. Is it clear? So what I'm going to do, whenever I will write the first name, last name and marks, and when I click on add data, I want each and every details to be inserted in the table. This is what I want. Are you getting the concept? Whenever I write my first name, last name and marks, and when I click on add data button, I want each and every details to be inserted into the table which we have created, which is scorecard. Yes or no? So let's see how to do it. So for that, what we will do, let me first find the IDs of all the components, and let's create the click event of button. So we have 3 edit text. So let me create the objects of all edit text. Let's say edit text f name, and edit text l name, and edit text marks. Similarly, I'm having one button which is add. So let me go with add only. Let's find ID of all the components. Edit text first name equal to find view by ID, r dot id dot edt first name. Similarly, edit text l name equal to find view by ID, r dot id dot edt last name. Edit text marks equal to find view by ID, r dot id dot edt marks. and for button add equal to find view by id r.id.bt and add. So we have got IDs of all the controls. Now let's implement the click event of this button. Add dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. So whatever I want to do, I need to write my logic inside this on click method. Fine. So I have created the click event of this button. Okay, Hardik, no issue. It is fine. Now the very important thing is what we will do for data insertion, for deletion, for updation, for each and everything we will go with separate method to track it clearly. So now what I will do, I will go to the dbhelper.java file again, and here I will create one user defined method to insert the data. So what I will do, I will give the name, which is, let's say, insert data. What I want to insert, I want to insert first name, so let's say f name. I want to insert last name, and I want to insert marks also. Now to insert the value, what I will do, I will call this method. First I will get the value from edit text, then I will call this method, so all the values will come here, and here inside this insert data method I will do something. Fine. So this is what I'm going to do. Now very important thing is to insert the data. See, this method requires data type also, that also we will discuss, don't worry. But as I said, whenever we want to create the database, then and only then this statement is needed. So now we need to cut this statement from here, and every time when you want to update the data, when you want to fetch the data, you will have to paste your code. So I'm pasting it here. SQLite database db equal to this dot get writable database. So now I can write the values in my database. Now to write the values in my database, what you can do, you need to use one of the inbuilt class, which is content values. So you need to remember this thing. You need to create the object of inbuilt class, which is content values. So I'm creating the object because there will be a method to put the values in the table. And so let me create the object. I have created the object. Now I am using this object cv dot, and you can see the method. Whatever I want to put, I can put. So again, for that I have key value pair. So key is my column and value is whatever value I want to give. So let's say I want to go with various keys. So I'm having all the columns. So ID I don't want to give any ID because it is auto increment. So it will be done automatically. But I need to go with first name, last name, and marks. So let me copy this first name. This would be my key. And what is the ID? What is the ID? ID would be, actually I need to write in double quote, or else you can even go with the variables. So this is my key, and this would be my value, whatever user will enter. So I have inserted the first value. Similarly, let me insert two more values. See, this is L name and this is marks, and this is last name, marks. You need to make sure that there is no spelling mistake. Yeah, it is correct. And so what I have done, I have inserted three values. So whatever value user will enter, that we will pass here, and that value we will store in the first column, second value in the second column, third value in the third column. So I will explain you from where you will get the values and how you can pass it here also, don't worry. And now once the values have been put, what you can do, you can call the insert method of SQLite database to insert the value. So for that we have object, so you can use db dot, the method is insert, where you can see here you need to pass the object of content values and you need to give the table name. So for me, the table name is this one, table name. The null column hack, it is always null, as I said. You don't need to think about it. And the object of this content values, which is CV. So you can just write CV. That's it. Now, this is one of the inbuilt methods. So let me open that method also to explain few things. See, this method is having a long return type. If you can see here, whenever this method will call, then you will get the values. So uh, if you will get any error, then it will return -1. Let me see if it is there. Earlier it was there. If there is an error while inserting the data, then you will get -1, or else you will get any other values other than -1. So what we will do, we will store the answer in the one of the long variable, because this method is having long data type, or I can say long return type. I don't know where -1 is there. Earlier it was there, but still let me explain you. See what you can do. Whenever this insert method will be called, if your value is getting inserted in the database, then you will get any other value other than -1. If you are getting -1, it means there is an error. Your data is not inserted. Fine. So what we will do, we will store the answer in one of the long variable. Fine. So let me go with long variable. Let's say answer equal to this. Are you getting this? But still, why that -1 is not there? I'm wondering. It must be there. Earlier the description was there. Now it is not there. It's not there. It's fine, but still I know the concept. That is why I'm explaining. So whenever this method is getting invoked, if your data is inserted successfully without any error, then you will get any value other than -1, and that we are storing in this answer variable. Are you getting this concept? If it is -1, it means your data is not inserted. No, Nikhil, as of now, we don't want to upgrade the value. That is why. So in this answer, we have stored the answer. So if the data is inserted successfully, then I will get any other value. And that we will compare now. If it is -1, then we will give any message that your value is not inserted, or else it is inserted. Fine. So let me write the condition. If answer equal -1, it means your data is not inserted. So at that time you can return the boolean value, which is false. Else you can return the value which is true. So finally, what would be the answer of this entire method? Can anyone tell me? Whenever I will execute this method, insert data, what will be the output? Final output would be what for this method? From main class, we will call this method. So after execution of this method, I'm talking about insert data. Yes, I know I'm getting an error. I will resolve the error very soon. Don't worry. But as of now, I'm asking the question, after completion of this insert data method, what will be the final output by looking at this code? See, I'm getting an error because I'm returning false or true. So this method needs to have a return type. So let me give return type. Let's say public boolean. That's it. Now that error is not there. Yes, so answer would be in terms of true and false only. Are you getting me? Whenever I will call this method, all the values will pass to these parameters. Then using content values, we will write the values in the columns. Then we will call insert method. And if the data will be inserted, it will return any other value. If it is not inserted, it will return -1. And at the end, we are checking if it is -1, then answer would be false. And if it is any other value, then the answer would be true. So after execution of this method, the answer would be either false or true. Are you getting me? If your data is inserted successfully, then you will get true, or else you will get false. Is it fine? Okay, great. So now the only thing is we need to call this method by passing the appropriate parameters. So again, go to the main activity file. Already click event is there. So now my question is, I want to call this insert data method. What should I do? I want to call this method which is insert data from this class. What should I do? Yes, quickly. We are running out of time. I want to complete all the operations. I hope you are with me and you are getting it. My question is, I want to call insert data method which is in DB helper class. So inside this on-click method, what should I write to call the insert data method? This is what I'm asking. Yes, quickly. I want reply from your side. Yes, Nikhil, you are right. See, only Nikhil is playing a role. This is not suitable for me. I want everyone to contribute. Yes, Kaushik, you are also right. No, Sunil, you are wrong. Using intent, we cannot call the method. See, whenever we want to call any method, we need to create the object of the class in which this method is defined. So insert data method is defined in DB helper class. So to call this method, I need to create the object of DB helper class, which is already created. You can see object is already created. So now using this object only, you can access that method. Are you getting me? So what I can do, I can write helper, which is the object dot, and you can see the method insert data. Now I need to pass three values. So what I want to pass, whatever value user will enter in each and every edit text. So first I need to get the values from this edit text. So how can we get the values? Edit text first name dot get text dot toString. This is the first parameter. Similarly, second one, edit text fname, sorry, this lname dot get text dot toString. Third one, edit text marks dot get text dot toString. That's it. So helper dot insert data. So I'm calling insert data method. While calling this method, I'm passing three parameters. What are those three parameters? Whatever value user has entered in the edit text. તો પહેલા પેરામીટરમાં શું જશે? ફર્સ્ટ નેમ, સેકન્ડમાં લાસ્ટ નેમ, થર્ડમાં માર્ક્સ. આ ત્રણેય વેલ્યુ ક્યાં જશે? ઇન ધીસ ડીપીએલ પર ક્લાસ. તો અહીંયા એફ નેમમાં ફર્સ્ટ નેમ આવી જશે, એલ નેમમાં લાસ્ટ નેમ આવી જશે, માર્ક્સમાં માર્ક્સ આવી જશે. ત્યાં જે આવશે એ વેલ્યુ ક્યાં જશે? તો કે આ કોલમમાં જશે. એફ નેમ વાળી વેલ્યુ ફર્સ્ટ નેમની કોલમમાં, એલ નેમ વાળી વેલ્યુ લાસ્ટ નેમની કોલમમાં, માર્ક્સ વાળી વેલ્યુ માર્ક્સની કોલમમાં. And then it will insert the value in the table. If the value is inserted, it will return true. તો અહીંયા ઇન્સર્ટ ડેટાનો આન્સર મને ટ્રુ મળ્યો, તો અહીંયા પણ એને સ્ટોર કરવા માટે મારે કંઈક જોશે? Yes or no? As of now, I'm calling the method, and after execution of the entire method, answer is either true or false. તો એને સ્ટોર કરવા માટે મારે અહીંયા પાછું કંઈક જોશે. So let me go with boolean data type again. Let's say boolean result equal to this. તો મને આ આખાનો આન્સર શું મળશે? કાં તો ટ્રુ અથવા તો ફોલ્સ, બેઝડ ઓન ધી result. If the data is inserted, then I will get true, or else I will get false. તો હવે આપણે સિમ્પલ ચેક કરીએ કે હું અહીંયા કન્ડિશન મૂકું, if result is true, then I can write the toast message that data is inserted. Else I can write the message data is not inserted. Are you getting this? That's it. We have inserted the value. So it's very easy. No, for Boolean we don't need to go with a double equal to. Why this result is assigned but never accessed? I am accessing it. Do we have any other value? Do we have the similar variable in my program? Let me see. No, it is not there. No, that is not the mistake. I think it is fine. It's a warning only. Is it so? I think Nikhil, you were correct. Fine. So, are you getting this? Now let me launch this application. See, meanwhile, let me explain. It's very simple. What we have done to insert the value, we have created one method which is insert data, which needs three parameters because we want to insert three values: first name, last name, and marks. Then we have used the SQLite database DB equal to get writable database. Then using content values, we have written all the values in the columns. Then using insert method, we have inserted the values in the table. If the value is inserted, then it would be true, or else it would be false. So answer of this entire method would be Boolean, which is false or true. So now what we are doing, if it is true, then data is inserted. If it is false, then data is not inserted. And while calling the method, we are just passing the values of all the edit text. That's it. So our application is ready. You can see here. Enter your first name. Let me give my first name. Enter your last name. Let me give my last name. Enter your marks. I'm not clever. Let me give 10 only. And now I'm clicking on add data button. And you can see the toast message. See, I'm getting data is inserted, but within a fraction, it goes away. And when I will click on the button again, then I will get two entries. Let me give one more name. Let's say Nikhil Parmar. He's clever than me, so let me give 90. And let's click on add data. You can see data is inserted. But as of now, in my application, we don't have any facility to check whether data is inserted or not. That also we are going to implement in the next session only, today only. If you want to learn that today. But now what we can do, we can go to this sample.db again to see whether values are inserted in the table or not. So let me save this file again in the desktop. That's the sample.db. Let me overwrite it. I think I'm getting an error. Let me refresh it. Why? Let me change the name. Let's say sample one. Yes, now let's open the DB browser and open the database again, which is sample. What was the name? Sample one or student one? I don't know. sample 1. Oops, let me open the database. Sample 1, and you can see both the values are there, and id you are also getting automatically because it is auto increment. So 1 2 3 I will get all the values, and both the values are inserted. Fine, are you getting this? Is it fine? Yes or no? It's very simple. Simply you can create the separate method which is insert data and perform the logic. That's it. And same logic you can use in any application. So don't worry if you are not getting. You can just use this code. So now we are going to do very important thing, which is we want to fetch all the data which is inserted in our database, so that every time we don't want to go in this DB browser. Yes, Nikhil, you can open a sample.db file, but it would be in not the suitable format. Let me open that. See, you will find the encoding problem. But in SQLite, in XML version, you can find it, but you will not get the entire table structure. That is why we need this tool, which is DB browser for SQLite. Otherwise, you can open it. Fine. So now we don't want this tool every time. This is not suitable. That whenever we write data, we need to export the database, we need to import the database in this tool, and we need to check whether the values are inserted or not. This is not advisable at all. So let's do something. What we will do now, for fetching the value, let me create one button, one more button. Okay, this is not the needed file. What is this? Yeah, this is the file. And let me change the text size because it doesn't seem good. 20 would be fine. Now let me create one more button for fetching the values. To fetch the values, we need to go with other logic, which is somewhat difficult, somewhat complex, but don't worry, I will explain it clearly. btn, let's say fetch get data. Okay. And what is the ID? ID is btn fetch. Okay. So now you can see I'm having two buttons. Fine. So let me open the main activity file. Let's create the object of another button for fetching. Let's say it is fetch. Find the ID of that button also. Fetch equal to find view by ID r dot id dot btn fetch, and let's implement the click event of fetch button. Fetch dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. That's it. So now what we are going to do, whenever I will click on fetch button, it will call the on click method, and we will write our logic in this method. So again, go to the developer class. The way we have created insert data method, similarly we will create one more method for fetching the values, and let's say the method is get data. It's not get data, it's get data. And inside this we will write our logic. So what is the logic? Again, you need to copy this first statement. To read and write the data, we need this statement. So let me copy this. Now very important thing is, do you know what is the concept of cursor? Have you ever heard about cursor? Yes or no? Can anyone tell me what is cursor? No, in graphics I am not talking about that cursor. Cursor in terms of a database. See, cursor can read all the columns, values from all the columns, and you can separate the values which are available in the cursor. એટલે cursor એવી વસ્તુ છે કે જે તમારા ટેબલની બધી કોલમમાંથી વેલ્યુઝ ગેટ કરી અને એક તમને સ્ટ્રક્ચર આપી દેશે. Later on you can separate the columns by putting your logic. Fine. તો આપણે જ્યારે વેલ્યુ રીડ કરશું તો we need cursor. આપણે કર્સરની જરૂર પડશે. So what we will do, let's write the query here. So what is the query? To get the value, can anyone tell me if I want to retrieve all the values from entire table, then what should be the query? I want each and every value to display from the table. So as of now, let's say I'm having two rows of values in the table. I want to display both the rows, all the values. So what should be the query? I'm talking about a normal database query. Yes, Siddharth, you are correct. Nikhil, you are also correct. See, simply we can use a select star from table. That's it, you can get all the values. So again, to write the query, to select the value, you need to go with a different query. It is not db.exec SQL, it is db.raw query. I think it is there. Let me see. Yeah. The query is db.raw query. So you can write this, and now you can write your query. The query is select star from, and you can give table name. So our table name is this table name, and as a second parameter, again you can pass null, which is not needed as of now. So now whatever answer I will get, now it will be in the form of cursor. So return type would be cursor. This is what I'm saying. Let's say answer is result. As I said, whenever I will use select star from table, it will give all the values. So all the values will be having this data type cursor, and that result will be stored in this res variable. Fine. And that is what we want to return. So at the end we will return the result, which is res. And if we return res, then this method must have a return type. So my question is, what must be the return type for this method? A get data method no return type મારે શું રાખવો જોઈએ? Yes. See, we have less than 1 minute.